Good morning. This is Father Stephen Kelly from St. John's Church in Detroit. We're continuing our series of daily morning meditations where we generally look at one or another of the lessons that are assigned for morning or evening prayer, what is known as the daily office lectionary. And I thought we'd jump right in again today into the book of Proverbs. Remember, the book of Proverbs is that wisdom literature in the Old Testament that helps us to understand who God is and how it is that we are to live in relationship with God and with each other. And in particular, this little section that we've been working on last couple of days, chapter 8, chapter 9, deals with wisdom and trying to seek after wisdom rather than foolishness, and to spend time with people who are seeking after wisdom and not those who are otherwise evil-minded. And so this is one of those chapters that the lectionary does some skipping around. It assigns to us verses 1 through 6, and then there's a skip. You skip a few verses, and then you jump to the end of the chapter. I'm going to actually read those first 6 verses and some of the stuff that they skip. And again, you're always welcome to read more Bible than is assigned. Right? We're all in favor of that at any time, because I think actually it's helpful in understanding this particular one. So here we go. Chapter 9. Wisdom hath builded her a house. She hath hewn out her 7 pillars. She hath killed her beasts. She hath mingled her wine, and she hath also furnished her table. She hath set forth her maidens. She crieth upon the highest places of the city. Whoso is simple, let him turn in hither. As for him that wanteth understanding, she saith unto him, Come, eat of my bread, and drink of the wine which I have mingled. Forsake the foolish, and live, and go in the way of understanding. And then this is the part that they leave out. He that reproveth a scorner getteth to himself shame, and he that rebuketh a wicked man getteth himself a blot. That's interesting. We should rebuke somebody who's wicked, right, and foolish. Why? Well, let's hear. Reprove not a scorner, lest he hate thee. Rebuke a wise man, and he will love thee. How do you like that? Rebuke a wise man, and he will love thee. Why? Because the wise like to be corrected if they're wrong. So if you rebuke them because they're wrong, if they're wise, they'll love you for it because they've been corrected. Give instruction to a wise man, and he will be yet wiser. Teach a just man, and he will increase in learning. The fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom, and the knowledge of the holy is understanding. And then it goes on for a few more voices. But think of that, right? What wonderful instruction this is for daily living. You know how often it is, and I think of social media as a great example of this. You tell people the truth until you're blue in the face, and if they don't want it, if they're too stupid to actually allow themselves to be instructed, you might as well, you're wasting your breath. You might as well just forget about it. But those who are wise, right, those who seek holy wisdom are also teachable. I know that in my times being involved in youth sports, both playing and then coaching later on, one of the great things that always would come up to describe a player was that they were teachable. You got some kids who had a lot of natural talent and certainly maybe some physical attributes. They reached puberty a lot quicker than others, and so they certainly were larger and able to perform athletically. But if they weren't teachable, they were actually troublesome on a team. It wasn't helpful. If they got into a bad habit and they refused to be coachable, to be teachable, that's no good, right? Whereas a kid who perhaps doesn't have all of the natural talents, but is willing to work hard and is willing to be instructed, that child will end up going much further in sports than the other person most of the time. And so we have that corollary here in the idea of wisdom. Those who are seeking wisdom allow themselves to be instructed, right? Now, not everybody who tries to correct you will be wise. And so part of wisdom is being discerning, right? To listen and to compare it and weigh it to what we may find in the scriptures, and in other holy writings, and in the teachings of the church going back to the apostles themselves. Not something that's been made up in the last 50 or 100 or 200 years. That stuff, we can put it aside. It hasn't passed the test of time. So, brothers and sisters in Christ, let us be wise and let us be teachable. Let us be correctable. Both of those things are vitally important in our spiritual life. It's Saturday. And so I do hope that you have signed up already for one of our services. We do have 10 services this weekend for worship. Today, Saturday, we have 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, and 5 o'clock Holy Communion. Tomorrow, we have 7:30 morning prayer, 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock, 11:30, 12:30 Holy Communion. And then at 5 o'clock, we will have evening prayer with the opportunity to receive communion as well. So please do sign up if you haven't done so. There's a clickable link on our parish website to the Sign Up Genius, and the website is stjohnsdetroit.org. I hope you have a wonderful Saturday, and God willing, we'll see you in church.